Edwards has been prominent in the early exchanges here. Slides the pass central. It's difficult to control for George Mells. Mells, another player with extensive A-League history as well as various stints in Europe. Adelaide, his primary club.
Both teams are struggling to keep possession. I think Hume are trying to slow it down a little bit, but the pace has been very, very quick already.
And now a clumsy challenge from Duggan. You could see he was trying to bail out of it as soon as he left the ground there. He was apologetic as he made contact, knowing that he'd mistimed it, and the referee, Alex Lieber's not interested in even a talking to, just a blow of the whistle at this early stage of the game.
I think he realised he slipped, and I thought he was going to actually let that go, because then Hume are out then. Played a great ball into Bowler's feet. Strong discipline midfield there with Troy and Mel's in the middle of the ground there for Port Melbourne. Screening the back three, the back five.
Aaron Touch allows Christian Bombachian for his first meaningful contribution. Chesnick turning some distance from the box though, and so he will defer left. Kiusis is pressing up. A trademark cross from Kiusis. He's one of those left footers that really doesn't use the right foot at all. He loves to use his left foot.
Got a great left peg. Usually his delivery is a lot better, but again, a lot of these boys will be rusty. This is a first real competitive game, and we've talked about it. It is a lot at stake tonight.
Well, who knows how far the winner of tonight's game could potentially go. You suspect that a meeting with an A-League team may come sooner rather than later, and that will be difficult given the preparation of A-League teams so close to the start of their season, as opposed to training out of season. It's amazing to think we're here in November for a game. I guess for those of you that don't know, the NPL Victoria season was abandoned at about the 2/3 point. So no champion, no cup winner. Ochieng swings the ball in, first time volley. And it fooled the crowd on the grandstand side, but Aidan Gardner's touch, we had the perfect view, it wasn't close.
It was fantastic, great ball in by Ochieng, and Aidan Gardner again making that late run. I don't think he got his head up right there when he took the strike, but again, great ball in by Ochieng and great run by Aidan Gardner. First real chance.
Hume were in fact set to defend their Doherty Cup and play in the Victorian Cup final. And that was going to be against Avondale. And for those of you following the Cup, you would have seen yesterday the news came through that unfortunately the Devonport Strikers had to forfeit their tie against the Victorian club Avondale, who themselves were top of the abandoned league when word came through that season 2021 would not reach a conclusion. This is Mells. That's a mishit pass. Quoll, only Bingham ahead of him, but Bingham might be enough. And that is smart goalkeeping from Withers. He was on his bike almost as quickly as Bingham was there to get out of his line.
He was very, very alert. Adam would be very happy with his keeper there. Concentration needed to be at a height.
Mells lifts the ball over to the right, but too much on it for Josh Wilkins. And of course, followers of the FFA Cup will remember Josh Wilkins from previous Heidelberg United Cup runs. It's actually going to be a bit of an adjustment process for us to see him in different colours, Nick, because this is his first game for the club, and it is a signing for 2022, and a great pickup by Adam Piddock in Port Melbourne.
Great pickup. Brings a lot of experience, a lot of big games. You know, he's won a lot of trophies as well. So the likes of Eager in the back line, Ross Archibald, I think Adam's done really well to bring him across.
Wilkins, one of the outstanding players week to week in the NPL. You go to a game and he will be patrolling that right touchline, making it his own. And the longer the game goes on, if others fatigue near him, he'll be the one whipping in crosses and almost playing as a second winger by the end of the game. So it puts a lot of accountability on that left side of the Hume City defence to keep him contained.
Well, exactly right. But at the moment, it looks like Port Melbourne's favouring their left-hand side, attacking Tennant and Ochieng as well.
Listening into a bit of the sideline chatter as the players come over right underneath our microphones in the scaffold at AVD Stadium. This is the aforementioned Wilkins, and he will take 15 metres. possibly more, as he drifts forward now and engages the defence. Port Melbourne just corralled and forced backwards a little bit. A few boo boys in the crowd. Hume City youth players and fans making some noise. Duggan knocked off the ball. Ben Bowler. Quoll protects the drop zone, but the numbers prevail. The two blondes, Rutherford and Edwards, combining to take the ball away. And down against the corner flag, Kiusis wins a throw. Troy Rutherford, also his first game for Port Melbourne, switching from the Altona Magic, and a well-travelled player from Queensland initially, but played for the Bentley Greens. Free kick given and taken quickly. Bingham controlling the ball on the right. He'll run at Archibald, who corrals him initially, and good one-on-one defending from Ross Archibald, former Melbourne Heart youth player from way back in the day before the switch to Melbourne City.
Surprised that Bingham's getting into those channels. You'd rather see him on the end of things. I don't think Heggs will be happy with him getting out wide and drifting out there, because he's got a target in the middle of the box there if they do get the ball in.
Of course, Victory fans will remember Troy Rutherford as the player who, when he was at the Bentley Greens, unfortunately scored an own goal at Kingston Heath, I believe, in a 2-0 loss to Melbourne Victory. Huge crowd that night. Can't say we've replicated it here, but I think the end of lockdown, we're going to see more and more fans coming out, and the start of the A-League season, if anything, is going to be a massive celebration of the opportunity to get back to the football. And Friday night's game, South Melbourne against Melbourne City, will certainly whet the appetite. I know I'll be there as a spectator, Nick.
I'm sure there'll be a decent crowd, and it'll be great to see again the top flight back at Bob Jane Stadium. It'll be fantastic to see.
Hume directing traffic here. They've had plenty of possession in the defensive half. Venturing forward has been a bit more of a hit and hope so far, and players like Michael Eager have initially been the reason. Bombachi misread the flight of the ball and had to take preventative measures, fouling Mitch Cooper, and this is the first free kick of the night in a dangerous position.
He's done well there to give away a free kick, and again, Alex has done well, not gone to his card, but this is a dangerous position. One thing that Hegarty likes to do is work on set pieces, making sure you always take advantage of these scenarios, so I'm sure they'll have something up their sleeve. They normally do.
Aidan Gardner's the man who's going to take it. The coach, Nick Hegarty himself, was a formidable free kick taker at times.
Great left foot he had.
So in the golden boots, Aidan Gardner's had the best chance of the game so far. That shot that hit the near side netting. Now we'll see what he can do, trying to curl this ball in from the left flank, and he'll have the vocal pocket of the crowd behind him. Gardner's cross, and Bingham was lunging for the ball. Last touch off a Port Melbourne player, though. It will be the first corner of the night.
Michael Eager there, really tight, and Bingham got the last touch. What you want from your centre half, especially your captain, leading the way. Both very big sides, very tall boys.
Yeah, there's no obvious team with an advantage in the air. Lots of competent to outstanding headers of the ball in both lineups. This corner from Gardner is going to be whipped high. Will it even stay in? Bingham challenging against Archibald. Those two have already faced off a couple of times. This time it's Archibald sinking his left foot through the ball. And after 13 minutes of action, it's Hume City 0, Port Melbourne 0, and a reminder that there must be a winner tonight. So extra time if we're level after 90 minutes, and then penalties if we are still level after that. A long time away. But you and I, Nick, whenever we're on air together, we have a bit of a habit of games going to penalty shootouts, so I'm just going to flag that early in the night.
I reckon tonight, Teo, I reckon there'll be goals.
Well, on the indication so far, I think that the naturally fitter players are going to have more and more space to exploit as this one goes on.
Especially at the moment, you see Hume now starting to settle. Port Melbourne are chasing a little bit, but again, they will look dangerous on the break.
Good challenge from Rutherford. Takes the ball off Gardner, feeding it out to Valley Chesnick. He's got two in the box. Didn't really aim up either of them. Picked out Ochieng instead, and Adam Piddock, the Port Melbourne coach, turned away in frustration at an initially promising move. And eventually a late whistle here. Mark Ochieng was about to protest, where's the foul? But The referee's whistle, just waiting to see how things shook out, if there was an advantage or not. And there wasn't. So a free kick.
At the moment, Port Melbourne are getting in good areas in that final third, just that final pass. I think he's fallen a few times with Valley Cesnik. He's tried to look for the top of the box. Probably identified that as an area that Hume might be vulnerable in, but if he tidies up that final pass, I think Port Melbourne can have some joy with that.
Well, I think he's a good long shot as well, at Valley Cesnik. So Hume would be wise not to let him run at the box too often. Ben Bowler. Now the ball on the left as Hume worked through the middle. Brandon Lawton. Bowler again, looking up at Bombachi. And that has been noticeable. Port Melbourne have really applied themselves well in one-on-one defensive situations so far. They've prevailed in a couple of standoffs. Duggan there looked to have led with his arm. Referee lets it slide.
At the moment, Hume's rotation in that final third is really causing Port Melbourne some issues.
Bowler. Cooper. Skipping over the ball was Bingham. Now Quoll whips it out to the left. Lazaridis is not going to be able to meet it in stride. It just had a little bit too much on it.
He had the wrong decision there. He's one-on-one there against Chris Kiosis. Well, should have had it go. Good opportunity to test his skill and his pace. He's a tricky customer.
Kiosis had to judge the ball on the wind. Edwards, see a few Hume players were looking to close the space, so Edwards had to defer back to Archibald. And then all the way to his keeper, switching out to Bombachi, and Withers has misdirected that pass. So now Hume's press starting to bear fruit in terms of a territorial advantage.
Yeah, Port Melbourne found it hard to get out of there, but Hume was set up nicely. Blocked off all their passing lanes and they couldn't get out. So again, Heggs has been, you can see, they've been working pretty hard in the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been training. Cooper.
Ochieng pushing as far forward as we've seen him tonight. What a cracking strike! Mark Ochieng! Hume City have scored a cup stunner, and Ochieng with a signature goal.
Well, Teo, what a strike. The ball sat up nicely for him. Ball's come out from the opposite side. He's taken one touch and he had only eyes for goal. He has absolutely nailed that in the top corner. Fantastic strike. There it is, a ball over the top there by Mitch Cooper. Great first touch, and the ball sat up nicely for him. What a strike. Tell you what, that was a goal as soon as it left his foot.
That is the sort of strike dreams are made of. He couldn't have put it any closer to the corner.
Great technique, fantastic. What a goal to start football returning back to Melbourne. Fantastic strike.
You said there were going to be goals in this one. If we get anything better than that, we are in for a great night. Thumbs up to the bench. And Mark Ochieng, who had a brief A-League career and has bounced around various Victorian clubs. He was at, I think, Dandenong City when he initially came over from South Australia, but he's made Hume home. And I think 2021 had been his best season in NPL Victoria. Like so many players, unfortunately for him, cut short by the lockdowns and the inability to play. But I remember him being in particularly good form when the season shutdown came, and he's clearly come back sharp as a tack.
Hey, 100%, Teo, I agree with you. He was fantastic against us. He caused us a lot of problems when we played him last year, and I think it's just his consistency is what he's improved on. You know, consistently having good games, you know, getting used to his new position, playing as a right wing back. So, you know, fantastic for him, and what a great strike.
So now over to Port Melbourne to come up with a response. Chesnick. Can they fashion a shot on goal? Edwards on his left, and it stings the palms of the young goalkeeper, Lucas Trenkovski. And it's cleared away, but there's the first shot on target for the night, and Edwards nearly had an instant equaliser.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Cesnik getting his head up, finding someone in that box, and then, again, they created their first chance. A great strike, great first touch. Valley's done extremely well there to find Edwards as well. So, game's heated up all right.
Going behind us, definitely spurred Port Melbourne here. Edwards again trying to turn provider this time, and communication at the far post ends with Lazaridis putting the ball over the fence and out for a breather and a corner.
Good response here by Port Melbourne. Lazaridis did well there, got the call, clear lines, regroup. Be interesting to see how this corner is affected by the wind though.
Lucas Trenkovski spent the season as a deputy to now Newcastle Jets goalkeeper Michael Weir, who will be hoping to get his A-League breakthrough at Newcastle this summer. Right now it's the breakthrough for the young Hume stopper. In at the near post and dealt with. Gardner wins the aerial duel as the ball slowly works its way to safety, but then a slip from Bowler opens the door, rather than didn't like the look of playing the pass. And it has taken going behind for Port Melbourne to find their perhaps best attacking spell. That really looked like a foul throw, but the referee will let it slide. Can Kiusis capitalise on a let-off? A tumbling ball, difficult to deal with for Tennant. Once, twice, and he's able to clear his lines.
He's done really well. Awkward there on the half volley.
Bingham didn't know that Archibald was waiting to pick his pocket, and this time Kiusis and Edwards can't link up, so it will be a goal kick and a chance to steady here for Hume City, consolidating on this lead thanks to the cracking goal from Mark Ochieng, which separates the two sides through 20 minutes now. And there will be some ebb and flow to this game. It's good to see the instant response from Port Melbourne.
I think they have to, Tao. We know got to be a winner tonight, so got nothing to lose. Been working hard for 4 or 5 weeks now to play this game.
Archibald won the header. Ochieng stayed down. Kiusis read the ball well over his shoulder, but hooked it straight back out. Eventually, Bingham presents for the ball. Trying to flick a header on. Archibald clears. Mells. Gardner.
Very disciplined midfield there by Hume. You see Lawton just screening as a 6. Bell and Aidan Gardner operating as a free roll. And then you got Quayle and Cooper just floating either side, free rolling behind Bingham. So when they're attacking, they've got a line of 4 when they're attacking their Teo. So interesting.
Throw in down to the left corner. Qual. Cross from Lazaridis. Bingham's the lone hand. He sold a bit of contact for all it was worth, and the referee wasn't buying. Ochieng, still dangerous, the goal scorer, but he's converged upon immediately. Edwards popped it out in front of Chesnick, but asked him to do a little too much. So Lazaridis with another ball, and this time the keeper, Withers, comes out. He's quick to spin a drop kick and get it away.
Great release by the keeper there. I think Port Melbourne want to try and keep a bit more possession. They're getting forward, but they've only got 2 or 3 players linking up.
Hume with plenty of numbers behind the ball here, as Port Melbourne have to be patient. Eager, switching flanks. Wilkins looks up at Lazaridis and took him one initially, but Lazaridis staying goal side. Prodded through. Chesnick outside the box. Back to Wilkins. As the sun just dips out from behind a cloud. Looks across the pitch here at ABD Stadium. Edwards will turn. Being corralled, and so he has to move it on quickly. Archibald. Kiusis.
Troy does that roll really well. Slots in between the centre halves. His positioning is very good as a 6.
Through ball, Chesnick. Just had a little half yard of space. It's closed down very quickly though. Defending coming in from Brandon Lawton. Into the box, Edwards challenged. Duggan, his first look at goal. And it's sliced up. This is awkward initially to deal with. And an apology comes in from Ilabol to say to his keeper, maybe I shouldn't have stuck my right foot out at that one, but all's well that ends well in the keeper's gloves.
He's done well, the youngster. Made the call nice and early. His centre half just let him down there, like he didn't deflect anywhere else, Teo.
Trenkowski with a high up and under, eager, charging through. Wilkins, early release this time. Chesnick off and running. Duggan making ground in the 6-yard box. Here comes the ball in, and it's headed away by Elevol. Very well directed too, to find Brandon Lawton. And Hume thus are able to calm things down. Although that pass was a bit of a difficult one to control there for Ochieng. It skims off his head.
I think he lost that in the sun. He put his hand up straight away.
Well, the game had, for the first 22 odd minutes, been played under cloud cover, and as you say, the sun has now popped out to the team attacking the left of your screen. You'll see it coming through.
You notice now with Port Melbourne, their lines are quite spread. Their final third need a bit more support from their midfielders to creep up a little bit more to get the numbers around the ball.
Mells clips it out to the right. Wilkins straight back to Bombachi. Archibald ventures forward, and Cusis was always going to be his man. In comes the cross. Whistle goes. Flag up. Cusis straying offside when he received that pass, and that's the first offside call of the night.
I think Adam wasn't happy there. As a wide player, should always know you can see down that line. You never get caught offside. Port Melbourne had a good spell there, moving the ball around.
Bit of confusion over where the retake is to be positioned, and now we're back live at the feet of Ochieng. Given away by Bowler rather than to Duggan. He's got the runner going, and Chesnick is through on goal through the right side. It's Valley Chesnick, and it's a great save from Trenkowski to deny him. The young keeper, Lucas Trenkowski, comes up with a top save.
What a fantastic save there by Trenkowski. Stood his ground, knew he had to be strong, made himself big, and what a great save of the youngster. Fantastic. Why Hegarty has trusted him. He has been saying that he's got faith in the youngster, and then he's just repaid the favour. Well done.
Port Melbourne's best chance of the game. They now have a corner to follow up. Cusis has gone over to the opposite side to whip it in on his left at the near post, off the head of Lazaridis, and there's no one at the far post for Port Melbourne, and so Lawton will capitalise. Knocking it on, Bowler. Gardner caught in possession. Oh, and he's gone through Ross Archibald. Alex Lieber comes over. It happened right in front of Adam Pittock in the technical area. So the Port Melbourne bench, understandably not happy. Neither's Ross Archibald. He's, I think, having a word to Nick Hegarty, the Hume coach there, saying, what's that all about? And we're not seeing Alex Lieber reach for the pocket.
Surprising. I thought that probably warranted a card, but again, you know what? I don't mind it sometimes, letting him go. I think that will be the warning for every player now. Anything silly, I think Alex will go to the cards, but...
Well, and you know Alex, being a coach in this league, he would have refereed plenty of your games.
Yeah, Alex is fantastic. He's good. He's one of the referees. He's approachable. You know where you stand with him. Oh, he's done well there, Chris Kiosis. Didn't give it up. Worked hard. Won himself a throw-in. So well done.
As the sun just ducks back behind a cloud, Port Melbourne remain on the attack, trying to find an equaliser. Edwards to Mells. Mells lifts it to the penalty spot over the head of Duggan, and then Wilkins a couple of steps behind as the ball tailed out.
Great ball in there by Mells. Duggan being heavily marked. He's always got Tennant picking him up nice and tight. So started to sort of change the way this game's gone. Port Melbourne starting to get a bit more joy, keeping the ball, being a bit more patient, creating that opportunity.
Trenkowski slipped as he took the goal kick, but it matters not. A flick header on. Now it might be coming back with interest. He's out to the edge of his box and sure-handed to grip on. Ochieng uses his little burst of acceleration and asks the others to come over and match, and it's a not disguised whatsoever attempt to knock the player over there from Kiusis, but still no bookings in the game. He can see the funny side of it with a wry smile, and it's just a free kick taken quickly by Hume. Bowler switching flanks.
Great ball.
Good touch from Lazaridis to match. But he's then forced backwards to Lawton. Tennant hoping for Gardner. Bombachi came through but then deflected it straight to Lazaridis. Sold bowler to a bit of a tricky spot. Three-sided attack coming in from Port Melbourne, but Hume were able to play through it. Brandon Lawton with a burst of speed of his own. Lazaridis' cross, and safety first there from Kiusis, just knocking the ball out of his thigh for a corner kick.
Everything started there with Lawton breaking that line, the first press. Great change of pace by him, getting the ball out to Lazaridis on his trusted left foot. Similar to what he had to do a couple of minutes ago, clear his lines, play it safe, give up the corner, just try not to concede.
This is Hume's first really meaningful attack since taking the lead in this game, so how they would love to double their advantage, you'd have to say, against the run of play from what has gone on with Port Melbourne since falling behind, and that volley is clipped out for a goal kick from Bowler. Got a few on the bench, including the Hume City coach Nick Hegarty, excited, but it wasn't close.
Like I said, Heggs loves his set pieces. He works extremely hard on them. I reckon he saw something he liked there that they tried. Great ball in there by Aidan Gardner. Drilled it into towards the back post.
Slightly awkward back pass. Withers able to get it away in the air. Edwards flick header on, straight to Bowler. So Hume can reload.
This is where Port Melbourne need a step. They need to get up, keep their lines closer together.
How do they get Chris Duggan into the game more? He's been a prolific striker for them in the NPL season, and he's a good player running directly at goal, shooting from distance, but he hasn't been prominent in this game so far.
I think he's being isolated. He's got to deal with two players there. When you see Sesnick and Edwards out wide, they're so far apart. It's just those extra runners coming through the middle that need to get there to support him so they can engage another one of their centre halves to give Duggan an opportunity. You see again the gap now between their midfielders trying to support where Sesnick got him behind.
This is good pace from Valley Sesnick to get to the ball first. Here is Duggan on cue. Not quite. Ball is kept away from him, and that's good defending from Tennant. Of course, Jackson Courtney Perkins has been a mainstay in the Port Melbourne starting 11 this season, but he's on the bench tonight, and it does feel as though his absence, Emlyn Wellsmore not in the match squad today. So a couple of the key pieces for Port Melbourne not here. As we see this cross in, Edwards on the tight angle, and he flashes it through the 6-yard box. Kiusis keeps the attack going against Ochieng, and well, Ochieng might have thought he outfoxed him as he went to ground, but the foul was not forthcoming, so the result is a corner kick.
Done well. Wilkins got a good ball into the box, and Edwards thought he probably could have taken a shot, but the strikers there should have had an opportunity to gamble and hope for a cutback, but they didn't. So best they can get is a corner.
Corner lifted to the far post. Eager's there, and well, it was a far from full-blooded attempted an overhead kick. Not even directed towards goal in the end. Eager, super veteran of NPL and Victorian football, long-time servant at South, and has been a bit of a quiet achiever, I would say, at Port Melbourne, continuing a very loyal run to them now.
Yeah, he's fantastic. One of the nice guys in the NPL. True professional. Fantastic centre half. Still barking instructions there, organising his back line.
Also got New Zealand citizenship, but the call never came. As we see, Mells turns the ball over here, out to the right, Chesnick. He wants to make amends for the earlier save, and that one, like his shot, ends up in the hands of Lucas Trenkovski.
A lot better there, Port Melbourne.
The rollout, Wilkins got there first, and then gives away the throw.
A lot better there by Port Melbourne, stepping up nice and high, yeah, winning the ball in their attacking half, but George Mel's that pass out to Snesnik needed to be better. They had an opportunity there. They had the numbers going forward. There's an opportunity wasted there.
So now Hume consolidate with the throw. Bingham lured into the defensive half. Able to protect the fall of the ball, and that frees Quoll to run.
This is where he's dangerous, Teo.
Here goes Paul Quoll. Back to Bingham, and now Mitch Cooper is unmarked, and he didn't make contact when the time came to fire on goal.
Tell you what, I think he's lost his footing at the wrong time, but again, fantastic transition there by Hume. Quoll, that is where he's dangerous, running at pace, opening that long stride that he has, and Bingham's ball over the top, fantastic ball. Oh, he just couldn't reach it. Again, Nick Hegarty will be happy. The numbers they had going forward there was fantastic.
It broke open quickly. Quoll really had the Port Melbourne defence backtrack.
He did, and I'll tell you what, on this big pitch, he's going to be doing that a lot next season or this season coming.
Port Melbourne's turn to respond, end-to-end stuff. Wilkins, marauding forward Wilkins, but his first touch was a little too heavy, and the goalkeeper diffused the situation.
Again, Trankowski reading the game so well for a youngster, anticipating. Wilkins will be disappointed. He knows that first touch. He had the opposition centre-half beat with his pace, but just that first touch. Again, that's a rustiness in players not having much game time, but...
Well, he was smart to identify the chance to get forward, but the first touch abandoned him when it was time to bear down on goal.
Again, the wind's just started to pick up again, Teo. It's gone even a bit harder.
For those of you who haven't been with us since kickoff, it is favouring the right of screen. Ocheng, the goal scorer, given some real estate to roam forward, and he decides to stop and prop. Uses Ben Bowler. Now Cooper had that chance just a moment ago. Ocheng tries to lift across. Cooper has to spin. Archibald first to react. Hard up against the byline to Kiusis. Back to Edwards, and the tackle from behind receives the whistle.
Cooper got lucky there. Gave away a free kick, but slow down play. Hags will be happy with that in their attacking half.
Now, I'm sorry, but for me, that's a yellow.
Look, from behind, I'll probably have to agree with you there, Teo, but Alex is happy to just let the card stay in his pocket.
I guess the best indicator is that there wasn't any acrimony or protesting after the foul. The players are getting on with things here. Hume trying to score a second. Bowler. Lazaridis, when they switch flanks like this, he's getting more and more space to try and do some damage. Does he go himself? Lazaridis, a deflected cross. Could have gone anywhere, out for a corner at the near post.
Again, the transition there by Lazaridis one-on-one against Wilkins. Bowler spreading the ball. He's had a great start to the game. At the moment, Port Melbourne are finding it hard to stop him getting on the ball, but he's having some joy spreading the ball around left and right.
Two deflections. It was Bombachi who got the last touch there, putting it out for a corner after it had initially been knocked by Wilkins.
What I've been impressed with is Aidan Gardner's third-man runs at the moment. He's getting in some great areas.
Short corner variety this time. Lawton. Cooper on his own in the box. Half-hearted shouts for handball, followed by another corner kick as the ball is blocked away by Bombachi.
Another set play there by Heggs. Almost worked for him. Port Melbourne can be switched on because they have variations.
Short corner again. In fact, it looks like exactly the same move. Lawton this time will hit it with a bit more venom rather than got his body in the road.
Port Melbourne just inviting pressure, very deep, can't get out.
Tennant. And the flag is up. It looked like it was a teasing run there from Aidan Gardner, but the offside flag has put an end to it. That is Laura Moyer over on the near side.
It's funny how Port Melbourne has sort of dropped off now and Hume's picked up again, so it's... Momentum has shifted a few times in this game.
Duggan. trying to will himself into the game and have an influence before the halftime break arrives. Refusing to give up possession. Edwards under the pump. Kiusis back to Duggan. He'd love to be the one in the box rather than being the provider, so he defers back to Mells, to Eager. You can hear the whistles coming from the Hume fans as Wilkins slips and gets the Bronx cheer, but called that a completed pass. Chesnick keeps the attack going. And now Wilkins again, and this time he's been out-muscled by Lawton, who finds the safety of the touchline.
Lawton did well there, got his body in front of Wilkins, couldn't do anything. Very smart player.
Chesnick. Ross Archibald. Kiusis. Is he going to show us his right? He's going to want his left, and he does use it. Chesnick leaves it for Mells, and it was blocked immediately off the boot. Bingham, most advanced Hume man, is going to work his way back, and, well, I think he was certain that he was fouled because he fell on the ball, and then Ross Archibald comes in for a bit of afters, and tensions flare for the first time at the 40-minute mark.
Interesting there. I thought he was going to give a free kick, Alex, and then Bingham's fallen on the ball, and then Ross just thought, I might as well have a go. He's not blowing a free kick, but...
Well, yeah, he reffed himself there, Bingham, safe to say, and the referee didn't agree. I hate to bring it up, but Josh Bingham loved the banter over the fence when he was playing against your Bentley Greens, a night that he scored 2 goals earlier in the season. Sorry to bring it up.
Cut to the action now, Teo.
Lawton. High ball over the head of Bingham, and now following up is Aidan Gardner. Bowler whips it back in. Wilkins watched it bounce. Lazaridis is there. Matt Lazaridis bides his time, and the attempted flick header from Bingham can't quite generate an angle that will trouble the goalkeeper. We're into the last 5 minutes of regulation in this first half. Mark Ochieng with a beautiful strike to put Hume City into a 1-0 lead. Victoria's most successful team in the FFA Cup, a title that is wrestled back and forth annually with the Bentley Greens, depending on who has a better cup run. Both of them have certainly made a name for themselves on the national stage. Hume City once played at Melbourne Victory right here at ABD Stadium, losing 2-0. And of course, back in 2015, they played them at Amy Park. It was 3-0 on that occasion. Ruthven has slipped at the crucial moment, but Gardner, maybe the eyes lit up a little quickly. He couldn't capitalise. Ruthven back on his feet.
Go back to your original question. Yes, Hegarty's had the wood over me, and so has Bingham. He's scored a couple of goals in the last couple of outings that we've played. So, do you know what the banter was?
Bentley Green's coach. Well, it was a very similar situation. He went to ground believing himself to be fouled, and the spectators believed he wasn't.
Right. He's a handful. He had a good year last year.
Well, he in the NPL, he has become very used to playing 1-on-2 because he gets a lot of attention from defenders that naturally gravitate towards him, especially as the top marksman in the league. And right on cue, Bingham is going to run onto the ball once more. Does he go himself? He's got Cooper in the middle, and he tried to rush the pass, and it was cleared away.
Just under hit that pass. I think he mishit it.
Gardner. Hume can sense a second before half-time here. They've got 2 minutes plus stoppage to try and capitalise. The pendulum has swung back their way.
What I'm impressed with, though, with Bingham is his work rate. For a big guy, he's getting himself about, getting in good positions, good channels. Very disciplined team, Hume, at the moment. Know their roles.
Mells. If you're Adam Piddock, what's your halftime team talk?
Look, I think he's got to be confident when they've got possession. When they do have possession and move the ball around quickly, they're causing Hume some troubles. They're opening gaps like now.
Chesnick hits the byline, cutting it back. Oh, and that could have potentially been a spectacular own goal. Lazaridis brushes it off as he sends it high and out for a corner.
And there it is again. Being patient, getting in good areas, getting in behind. But that top of the box, that cutback is definitely something that Port Melbourne have worked on against Hume, knowing that could be a weakness for him. So well defended there. I wasn't sure Lazaridis got back in time.
Chris Duggan, the Port Melbourne man, on your screens. And now Chris Kiusis. Another in-swinging corner on the way. They've all attacked the near post so far. Let's see if he mixes it up. Indeed he does. This one to the far post. Tangle of legs. And even though Wilkins is claiming his shirt was grabbed, it is just going to be a throw-in for Port Melbourne. Fourth official will signal 1 additional minute to end this first half in about 8 seconds' time.
Disappointing here by Port Melbourne. Chris Hughes is normally fantastic from set pieces. They've struggled to get over the first man, but this time they decided to go to back post, and like you said, Wilkins had his jumper held, but didn't think there was much in it.
So into that 1 minute of additional time, Chesnick trying to step over a fallen Cooper into the box. Time for Hume to batten down the hatches and protect this 1-0 lead to the break, it seems.
Oh, great ball in.
Chesnick.
Oh, great feed.
Little step around, opens up the pitch for him. Kiusis getting forward. It's Kiusis straight at Trenkovski. And it's been his first half. The youngster, Lucas Trenkovski. Mark Ochieng has the best highlight of the night. Trenkovski perhaps has the rest of the podium with his saves.
Trenkovski again positioning A1. Nice and strong, great soft hands. Held onto that ball. Good strike by Chris.
Ball allowed to bounce. We've gone beyond the minute, but this play is evolving here for Hume. Eager comes across, and it's met by the half-time whistle. Mark Ochieng's goal the difference. We will have all of the highlights during the half-time break coming right up here on 10 Play. It is Hume City 1, leading Port Melbourne Sharks 0. Back soon. Welcome back, half-time here in the FFA Cup, where Mark Ochieng's goal means it's Hume City 1, leading Port Melbourne Sharks 0. Teo Pellizzeri and Bentley Greens coach Nick Tolios with you for this one as we assess this game 45 minutes in. Certainly a game of ebb and flow, and as we look at the first primary highlight, Nick, the goal, and why wouldn't we start here?
Well, again, every time we look at it, it gets better and better. Great little ball there by Mitch Cooper. Not Cheng's first touch. Get out of his feet and then say thank you.
That was the furthest he'd pushed up the pitch pretty much for the entire half. I don't think he really, hit the corner or went down level with the box much at all from his right back position. So he really picked his moment to come forward.
He did, and he enjoyed that. All that frustration of not playing much football, and to start this, the soccer season again with that kind of finish was fantastic.
Now this was the save of the game to date. Trenkovski denying Valley Chesnick. And then this little fast break from Hume. Mitch Cooper didn't get any purchase on the ball when it was time to strike.
Just that composure that he needed, but again, lost his footing. It has been pretty heavy, the ground, with all the rain that we've had today. So, again, but good ball movement by Hume created that opportunity.
Here are the numbers. Port Melbourne shading possession. As you can see there, shots on target. I can guarantee you Hume's had one. And the corners are level. No cards. It's actually been quite a lenient game from the referee, but on the whole, it's poised for Port Melbourne to make some moves and try to get back into it.
Especially now they've got the wind as well. Hume is going to find it a little bit harder to get out with that wind, so hopefully Port Melbourne can peg them in their attacking half and try and create a couple more chances, because the gaps are starting to open up. Both teams will get tired. Obviously, we expect that. Haven't played much football.
Well, stay with us here on 10 Play. The second half is going to be coming up shortly. And don't forget that Paramount Plus is your home of football this season. And it's time to get to know some of your experts, Alex Brosk and Georgia Yeoman-Dale.
I'm Alex Brosk, and I'm going to be part of the expert panel providing coverage on the Channel 10 and Paramount Plus network. The first club I played for, I started quite young. I was about 3.5, my mum tells me, and it was for a local South American team that my dad actually played for called Welcome Sports. I don't think they're around anymore, but that's where I started. Australian football is, look, it is everything to me. I've obviously grown up in this country and played all my football, in this country, and what the game has given me and what I've been able to give in a small part back to the game has been everything, has been the biggest part of my life. So Australian football basically is everything to me. I think that there's a lot to look forward to with Australian football. Obviously, this new TV deal now, I think, gives the game a bit of direction and a bit of go forward. And I think just the support and backing that the game needed. So I'm excited about the future and what the next few years hold. The biggest hurdle, I think, for the Socceroos will just be following on from the past, year and a bit. It's the challenges that come with not knowing where they're playing. It's Arnie's difficulty in getting the squad together, whether it's local or international. I think they're obviously always well prepared going into matches, so that won't be an issue. But I just think the logistics and getting his squad together, making sure we have the best players available for every game. Looking back at that qualifier where John Aloisi scored the goal, it's not going to please a lot of my family given the Uruguayan background, but it was the one time that football literally brought me to tears, and seeing Johnny score that goal and just the words behind it, the moment, I remember everything I was doing. I think football is about those moments, and that was incredible for me. It was only a recent one, the Matildas playing against Britain in the Olympics. I think that for me, I was watching the game with my wife and 3 young girls at home, and they were cheering the girls on, and we all were, and seeing Sam Kerr equalise right before the death, take them into extra time and win that game. The emotion in that entire game was incredible. I think another sort of easy answer and probably the go-to for most, but Sam Kerr is, I think what she's doing and really leading, as one of the first, Australian women to really take football to that next level for us internationally. She's doing what she's doing in England, which I guess for any young player in Australia going abroad to test yourself is a massive challenge, and she's just done it with such ease. She comes back and plays for her country exceptionally well and is a real standout for me. Well, look, I think what I'll be bringing is just my years of experience, having played within the A-League and within Australian football for as long as I have, and knowing the players, knowing the way we think here, and knowing, having good insight into what makes Australian players tick. It will be an interesting season. I think a lot of teams have strengthened, so Melbourne City will be up there again. They've really added to their squad. Melbourne Victory will bounce back after a disappointing last year. And Sydney FC, while not having really added too much to their roster, is already an incredible lineup as it is. So I think those three will be challenging for the title. Look, being part of Paramount Plus, I'm excited that you know, they took the challenge on to back football and get behind football. We were crying out for someone to do exactly that, and I think that's an exciting new chapter for football in this country, and for me to be a part of it is obviously you know, very special for me, and hopefully, you know, we can see the game grow in the next few years.
Welcome back to Live Pictures. FFA Cup on 10 bowled, about to start the second half, where Hume City 1 lead Port Melbourne Sharks 0. And there has been one half-time substitution. Our eagle-eyed expert today, Bentley Green's coach Nick Tolios. You saw it on the very last passage of play before half-time. Michael Eager injured, and he's been replaced by a man who wasn't even on the original team sheet tonight, Luke Barfarosh. He's unmissable out on the pitch, Barfarosh. We'll get to that, but what can you tell us about the Michael Eager injury?
It was that last-minute reach that he made for the ball, where the last attack, literally of the half, where I saw him get up very gingerly. I think that overstretched on the last kick. Hopefully it's nothing too major, but he grabbed his hamstring straight away, so it's a shame to see him go out of the game. But
well, you said it right on kickoff of the game, that you hoped that there would be no injuries, and unfortunately, yeah, that last little strain, literally the last act of the half in live play, Michael Eager leaves the game injured. As Port Melbourne go on the attack here, looking for an equaliser. Through the left they go. Kiusis, Duggan. First touch wasn't a great one, and so
Tennant done really well there, but I thought that ball in behind into Duggan there, I thought Duggan was offside, but linesman kept the flag down. Better position than I'm in.
Edwards now in behind here. Edwards cutting it across, and it's put behind for a corner. Duggan was lurking, and so it goes out.
So like young Tennant again, he's done a great job.
And big thank you to Football Victoria, because they've let us know that Jackson Courtney Perkins hasn't even made it to the match squad now, and that is why, as we see the corner again, Luke Barfarosh, the number 16, is on, so he was the late inclusion onto the team sheet, and unfortunately for the viewers, it means we won't be seeing Jackson Courtney Perkins come off the bench tonight.
Alex having a word there, I'm not sure what's happened, but again, Tennant, great positioning, getting important toe in.
So here comes the corner kick. Port Melbourne looking for an equaliser. And even though Trenkovski was second to the ball, Lawton's header was solid. Kiusis will take some controlling from Mells, but he does so. Second time ball, dealt with comfortably enough.
Good start by Port Melbourne. A little assertive.
So Mark Ochieng's goal, the difference between the teams. Port Melbourne have had some chances. Valley Chesnick has been the main outlet to goal though, Nick. Great save from Trenkovski to deny him. And he's been getting into threatening positions as well. Maybe just a tweak of a few decisions as we see him on the ball right here passing to Ruthven. And he may yet find the net for Port Melbourne tonight. This attempt at a slide rule ball goes straight down to Trenkovski, the keeper. And he's been perhaps the story of the night so far, given that he was deputising for the now Newcastle Jet Michael Weir all season, and this is him in the first team.
He's done well. He's stood up strong, made the important saves when he needed to be. Distribution's been clean. Communication to his back line has been good too, so.
As you can see, artificial light has taken over the picture, a stark contrast to the first half where we had the setting sun coming and going from behind a cloud, but now the lights have taken over here in the far north of outer suburban Melbourne. Wilkins, clever, finds Ruthven, whips in another threatening ball, Duggan with the header, and it takes a lot of power and direction to score from there.
It was a better opportunity than what Duggan thought. He's got the armband on as well. He should have done a lot better. Free header, didn't really have to jump as well. So first time he's got that space, he needs to at least hit the target. Great little transition and great movement there by Wilkins and Ruthven to get that ball in.
So discussing the benches, Hume City yet to turn to their bench. They have former Melbourne victory man Theo Markellis. They've actually got Michael Weir's brother, Lockie Weir, on the bench as well. And the big trump card that we suspect they will play at some point or another, the Argentine striker, Nahuel Bernarda, spent the season with Dandenong Thunder, where he was a great marksman and a great forward. He's trialled at a couple of A-League teams unsuccessfully, but he's known to the A-League. And now, for one night only, he's a Hume City player, and they didn't start him. They've kept him up their sleeve, curiously enough.
It was surprising to see him here, but again, we don't know when he came into training and how fit he is. I know he's a real professional, looks after himself.
And I say Argentine via South Australia as well. This is so often a pathway that players take, be it from WA or South Australia. Queensland, the obvious connection in the Port Melbourne team. Here goes Duggan, running at bowler, sliding it low and composed defending to steer it out for a throw.
Again, see the difference now. Port Melbourne are starting to get more numbers in the box. Wilkins is attacking. They know they've got to get something nice and early here. Put Hume under pressure. In the first half was Cesnik was the main threat they had going forward. So now they've got a couple of boys helping him out.
And there is the sub, Barfarosh, dispossessing Bingham on this occasion. And I mentioned in the first half, he gets used to playing in a 1-on-2, but that doesn't make it any easier when you get a situation like that where he was just being mauled by a couple of defenders. Clever from Wilkins. And then a little nick at his ankle, and you could actually hear the impact come through on our microphone, and so a free kick.
Nothing in it. Shook it off and already got into shape. Again, we talked about a great start so far by Port Melbourne. Hopefully they can capitalise on it.
They've come out with a fresh intensity through the 5.5 minutes of this half so far. Chesnick, he's in a 1-on-2. Pass the ball, Val, is the cry from his coach from the technical area. Through the box it goes, Kiusis. He's being pointed by Ochieng for now, and Ochieng prevails. He's done well there. Just a good one-on-one battle, and Ochieng wins out.
But every day you can see that the way that Port Melbourne play with their wing-backs getting forward, opposition full-backs having a go at each other. It's fantastic to see.
Wilkins hits the early ball, asks Duggan to do a lot, and Trenkovski is confident as he comes out to claim.
Yeah, I like young Lucas.
Game primarily taking place in Port Melbourne's attacking half of the ground at the moment. Quoll, his first meaningful touch of the second half. And he's going to try and counter here. Advantage given. Quoll tried to slip through Cooper. And that's a good slide challenge from Barfarosh to take the ball away.
Barfarosh did extremely well there.
Switch of flanks. Kiusis now. Both wing backs getting forward for Port Melbourne, but the delivery is not on the money just yet. Edwards wins the foul. And this gives us a chance to address the stunning mane of hair that Luke Barfarosh has. He's known as Guendouzi for anyone that sees him because he's so instantly recognisable. He's not going to be getting forward here, though, because he is a defender. And so the chance for Mells. Oh, it flashes across the face. Just wide of the right-hand post. And Port Melbourne are getting closer to an equaliser.
Mells did extremely well. Shifted the ball onto his left foot, non-preferred, but again, great strike. Port Melbourne have come out in the second half. You see here, great feet. Moves out of the way. Very lucky again. Port Melbourne lacking. They've just got to try and hit the target, force the keeper into a save.
Well, it's a cup tie in the balance at the moment. You do feel as though Port Melbourne can make the most of this bright start to the second half. Who knows just how far they can press the advantage, but they need to score the equaliser before they have designs on anything more. Duggan.
See him coming out a little bit deeper now to receive the ball to try and get onto it, and should have done a lot better there. Simple ball was on, but again, he's coming in deeper, dragging players out of position, and you see those third-man runs now by Edwards and Cesnik getting in behind, so something that Adam must have adjusted in his team talk at half-time.
Just to discuss the Port Melbourne bench as well, they've got Matthew and Timonopoulos, who's a central midfielder, Luca Tavir, who's arrived from Melbourne City's youth system, and also Francesco Stella, plenty of A-League experience there with Victory and the Mariners, and also experienced striker John Quoll, who could come on at some point as well, but Port having made one sub, we'll wait and see how long they wait to act on another. Lazaridis, Lawton, and Wilkins unable to strip him cleanly of the ball.
Good pressure there by Port Melbourne. Adam yelling instructions to his team, working hard. Luke Tavia had a great season last year with Northcote City. Good youngster, good pedigree, technically very sound. Great inclusion there by Port Melbourne.
50-50, Mells prevails and keeps it moving. Edwards in a pocket of space. Now Duggan into the box, he hurdles. The ball didn't come with him.
Well defended.
Bingham, and Quoll. You can see his frustration because he knows he had meterage to exploit. Instead, Port Melbourne continue to apply the press here. Wilkins, it deflects. Chesnick. Rather than Mells. Switching out to Kiusis. Ochieng committed. Decision time for George Mells. He opts for Rutherman. And Rutherman can't quite play through Valley Chesnick on this occasion.
So unlucky there. He knew what he was looking for. Just overhit it. But again, Hume haven't adjusted with how Port Melbourne have started his second half. Again, smart now, Higgs and his team. Slowing it down a little bit, trying to kill the tempo.
You can just see in the bottom of your screens, Nahuel Bernarda's number 22 speaking to assistant coaches on the bench. So the Argentine marksman is not far away. Who he replaces will be interesting. Who would you take off? Cooper, Quoll? I don't think Bingham's going to be leaving.
Look, I'd be surprised if he took off Quoll, because I think he's got something about him there. He probably could still hurt this Port Melbourne defence. I think Cooper, he might have had a certain period of time he was going to play. He might not have been here from the start. We don't know how long they've been training for. So but if I was to say anything, I'd probably say Mitch Cooper.
Lots of tactical discussions going on with Nahuel Bernarda. So that sub's not quite on deck just yet. In the meantime, Port Melbourne look to attack once more. Bombachi. Rutherman, first time ball. Light rain starting to fall now here at ABD Stadium. Lazaridis. Lawton. Back to the centre of defence. Birhan Elabol. You've called it Nick Tolios. That's why you're the expert. It's going to be Mitch Cooper. I've just caught a glimpse of the fourth official's board. Next break in play, Nahuel Bernarda will be coming on.
Not a bad inclusion, coming off the bench.
And so one of the characteristics of Bernarda, so he will stay with Kiusis here, just to see how this passage of play shakes out. He's lost the ball. Now Ochieng is going to try and counter-attack here and do so by releasing Bingham on the right. Quoll getting into space. Bingham obliges, and Quoll prodding it on, hoping for Ochieng, and Barfarosh, all energy, is able to turn it behind for a corner kick. And so what initially looked like a fairly promising Port Melbourne attack very suddenly becomes a Hume corner.
Done really well there, Ochieng. Got himself forward, burst of speed. Quoll supporting him, and Barfarosh, again, good positioning. Very hard coming off the bench.
Hume have held off on the sub here to wait for this attacking corner.
Interesting why Port Melbourne getting everyone behind the ball.
So the ball falls in the 6-yard box and it flashes through the penalty area for yet another corner. And Withers, I think, was trying to argue he was obstructed, but the referee says it will be repeat corners. And so Aidan Gardner is going to jog from one corner of the pitch to the other, and well, not even jog. Now he's slowed down to a walk, so everyone will catch their breath. As we tick up towards the hour mark. Corner taken. Ochieng, Lawton, Gardner. A high bending ball that Bingham will have to tail back and chase, and his fellow striker Duggan is his marker on this occasion. The ball spilled and Hume is still on the attack. Cooper! Oh, that would have been a fantastic final involvement in the game for him. Not enough direction on the header. Hume stay on the attack though, looking for a second goal. Tennant. Cooper. And this time, no venom in the shot. And it bounces into the hands of Withers. Good little spell for Hume City. And they've now at last provided some counter to Port Melbourne's control of the second half up to that point. Eventually the ball goes out. And so Nick Tolios, tell us about the man coming in, the number 22, Nahuel Bernardo.
Well, Bernardo, real good striker, can play out wide, work rate's phenomenal. He works hard and he brings that energy that you see from South American players. So it'll be a great inclusion. Good timing there by Heggs to bring him on now in the 60th minute.
Good core strength as well. He's very capable holding off an opponent, isn't he?
He is, and he's got change of pace. His left foot is deadly, so look, an all-round good player. It'll be interesting how he slots in and how he adapts to playing under Nick Hegarty.
Big half an hour for him. He is well known to A-League clubs. He's trialled at a couple. Who knows, a good showing here, and it might just go in his favour as clubs make last-minute decisions on who to sign for the coming season. Chesnick. Wilkins, oh, and that's a professional foul from Lazaridis, and after a lenient first half, no longer can Alex Lieber resist. That is the first booking of the night coming in the 62nd minute.
That's what we call the professional foul. Lazaridis knew that he got done by Wilkins and wanted to bring him down before he got into that penalty area. So, again, another opportunity now for Port Melbourne. Good area for a free kick.
Looks as though Port Melbourne's Luca Tavia is doing his final warm-up as well. Last instructions from the coach, Adam Piddick. He'd love to welcome him with an equaliser. Kiusis and Mells are the two standing over the set piece, keeping the young goalkeeper Trenkovski guessing. The rain is starting to pick up as well. It's going to be Mells, and it's flashed away by Bingham. His header is rolling out towards the touchline, and Lawton rather casually clears it. Edwards. Port Melbourne trying to keep the pressure on, but they can't do so as the ball tails out.
It's an interesting decision. I think Chris Kiosis is coming off.
Rutherford. Chesnick showing that good close control again as he feeds it to Wilkins, and good defending from Lazaridis, deflecting it behind for a corner, stopping the cross getting into the penalty area. And Luca Tavia, the number 9, will come on, and he'll be replacing Chris Kiusis. So will this lead to multiple positional switches, or do you think this might be a straight swap?
It'll be interesting to see whether Edwards will go out wide left, I think, and young Luca come on further forward, playing in the front three.
So Kiusis, after a busy shift, he got forward quite a lot. Certainly spent a lot of petrol tickets, and he is Port Melbourne's second change of the night. Here comes the corner and the header. Oh, Duggan putting it wide to the right. There was one shout of celebration the moment it left his head, but not to be. And out for a goal kick.
Again, great ball in there by George Mells. Getting closer and closer is Chrissy Duggan.
So Port Melbourne, for all their efforts in this second half, haven't got that equaliser that they are seeking. Hume City continue to hold the advantage. Duggan again, challenging, and a bit of afters as he drags his opponent to the ground. Tennant nonplussed, but also able to break out a smile. And clearly the two players happy to get on with things. Hume City free kick, and they will go backwards to go forwards. Illabol plays it to Lawton. Port Melbourne starting to advance a press up the pitch, so a long ball follows. Bombachi and Quoll battle in the air. Wilkins. Chesnick dispossessed Gardner. Will want to slip at the crucial moment from Mells. Allows Bingham to come away unchallenged with possession. Tavir, the sub, backtracking and just did enough to put him off.
He did very well. Fresh legs.
Ochieng follows up though, and Hume remain on the offensive. Ochieng. Bernarda. Let's see him go to work, and Barfarosh actually stood off him rather than let himself get turned. And Ochieng wins a corner, so good result in the end for Hume City.
Again, did well there, Ochieng. Bernarda linking up well. Good work right there by Luca. Putting Bingham under pressure, gave it up. Again, I thought Bingham should probably move that ball a little bit earlier to Bernarda, give him a chance to run one-on-one at Barfarosh, but corner nonetheless.
Bingham waits at the top of the penalty area for this corner kick. And now he advances to the penalty spot. He was the target, went over his head, and Port Melbourne clear it out of the box. Edwards, Tavir. He's not able to shimmy his way past Ochieng, who wasn't falling for any of his feints, but he did give away a foul in the end. Nick Hegarty, we can hear shouting instructions to his players. The Hume City gaffer. Mells. And now in his new wide position, Edwards just decelerates a bit, and Tavir definitely wasn't expecting the pass, so it's out for a throw.
Hume again, getting numbers behind the ball. Port Melbourne need to keep that pressure up, keep getting numbers in the box, keep forcing Hume deeper if they want to get something out of this game.
Foul here will allow Hume to clear the lines.
Going to get to a point where Port Melbourne are going to have to take some risks.
What is the risk that is worth taking? Is it sacrificing a defender to midfield? Is it
I think
aggressive subs?
I think the way their formation is set up with the five, you know, they go with the 3 centre halves. I think pushing their 2 wing backs further forward to give someone else support, having a second player up top with Duggan, just to put the 2 centre halves under pressure.
Crunching challenge coming in from Illabol. And that is another card for the Hume defence. So Lazaridis and now Birhan Illabol are in the book.
And Port Melbourne has started to really put pressure on Hume's defence from these set pieces. So I know Nick Hegarty wouldn't be happy at the moment.
Who's keeping the shape? Luca, shape.
Mid-range free kick then, Mells. We've seen him with a similar setup from about 3 metres closer in not long ago. Let's see if he can put it on a teammate's head and fashion the equaliser right here. George Mells over the dead ball. And it tumbles to the top of the area before being cleared away. Tavir challenging, has done well to turn possession over. Edwards launches onto the ball. Can't lift the cross beyond Tennant. Tennant able to clear. Ochieng, Tennant. Adam Piddock, the Port Melbourne coach, shouting, "Where's your reaction?" to giving the ball away. So definitely wanting the aggression to stay, but as we tick down to 20 minutes to go, Nick Tolios, it looks as though the initial burst of energy for the first 10 to 12 minutes of this second half has just been tempered here. So we'll see if Port Melbourne can dig any deeper. In the meantime, Bernarda trying to release Quoll. Withers has picked his moments when to come out of his line tonight and does so again here.
Done really well there. Good ball there by Noel Bernarda. Sloan Kual making that run from midfield.
Lazaridis, one of only 2 players on the pitch with a yellow card to his name.
Kingity there, barking instructions to Bingham. They need the ball to stick a little bit more in that final third to give them an opportunity to support them.
It was taken quite easily off his feet by Wilkins, and so Port Melbourne remain on the attack once more. Edwards lifts across. Wilkins beaten in the air. Quollen Chesnick. And Valley Chesnick has done well just to glide in and win possession away rather than Clutet trying to flick the ball on at the outside of his foot. Didn't work for him. Quoll just gets a chance to shift the lines and move into the attacking half. And then he got a little too clever and slipped over on the ball. Lazaridis has got to be careful here if he's going to just dawdle down and take his time over these throws. He's one of only 2 players on a yellow. You don't want to be given a second booking for time wasting, even if it's innocuous.
He's waiting for Quayle to do his shoelace.
See, the referee didn't know, and now is still insisting take the throw. It's a battle of wills. Do you let him tie his shoelace or not? Play's back underway.
Oh, I heard Hegarty saying to him, get rid of it, get rid of it.
What, play with one boot?
No, as in get rid of the ball, because I think he knew that.
He knew, yeah.
Yeah.
Ochieng.
It's a wasteful ball there by Ochieng. They need to retain that ball a bit more, putting themselves under pressure, giving Port Melbourne an opportunity to go again.
Edwards. Pass was blocked immediately by Ochieng. Bernarda. Played it into the ankles of Barfarosh, and so it deflects kindly for Rutherford. And now Wilkins will look up and see some space to roam into. Quoller's coming across to try and close the angles. Chesnick, a bit of a tired attempt to play the ball here. Wilkins wills himself onto it. And then it spills to Lawton.
Oh, good work by Lawton. This is what Heggs was talking about. Bernarda's through here.
Bingham, Barfarosh, oh, he slipped, and Nahuel Bernarda bearing down on goal. It's Bernarda, and he misses. An agonising little slice off the outside of his left foot. He thinks it's a corner. He wants to credit the goalkeeper with the save. I think that's a miss.
Interesting to see Barfarosh went to ground. He's unlucky not to win it, but as a defender, you need to keep your feet. No, I think he's unlucky there. He's just missed it. Good decision. At one stage, I thought he was going to cut back onto his trusty left foot.
Well, that would have just about put this cup tie to bed with 18 minutes to go. Barfarosh's blushes are saved by the miss in the end. And Bernarda, we said this was a stage for him. He needed to put that one in the back of the net.
Put that in the back of the net. Like you said, could have been game over, but
it could have been his phone ringing tomorrow as well. Now, another costly turnover may prove the undoing of Port Melbourne. Bingham doesn't want to pull the trigger just yet. He goes wide and puts it into the side netting. And he was apprehensive there when the chance to shoot on goal presented.
I thought that could have been even offside. I think the ball deflected off a Hume play into Bingham's feet, but nonetheless, worked hard, opened up an angle. Probably should have taken the shot a little bit earlier. But interesting now how, again, Port Melbourne going to the bench.
Double sub.
Fresh legs.
Valley Chesnick is coming off. Francesco Stella comes on. Troy Rutherford comes off. And Matthew Antuminopoulos comes on. So, double change. Chesnick had been their main attacking outlet. And fresh legs in the form of Antuminopoulos, who very much is a steady central midfielder. And Port Melbourne perhaps need this because they've just given away 2 golden opportunities for Hume to double their lead. And another turnover. Frustration continues for Port Melbourne. Hume is it third time lucky. Bernarda is going to drift in from the right and
well defended by Barfarosh.
Caught in 2 minds there. I'm not sure that was necessarily a pass or a cutback or just giving the ball away.
This would be dangerous now. The transition.
Stella. Wilkins. Stella goes on the overlap and Wilkins uses him. First involvement off the bench. Duggan. Holding off his markers, deflected, attempted across. Gardner had the composure to steady on the ball. Now Bernardo, who he's dived into there, and the man who challenged him appears to have come off worse. Edwards crashed in, Bernardo was crashed in too. What's the referee going to decide?
I'm not sure what Alex is doing here, because from this angle, it looked like Edwards got the ball, but also Bernardo looked like he got hurt too, so very hard to see who he's going to give a card to.
Well, someone's going to get booked, but we just have to work out who.
I think he's waiting for Noel to get up.
Has Edwards cramped here as well? It looks as though his ailment isn't purely the result of the tackle here. All right, let's be the ref. Talk us through it.
Oh, tell you what, Edwards has probably gone in with both feet. I think Edwards is probably the one that's at fault here. If he gets a yellow card, he'd be getting away with one, that's for sure.
Alex Lever's our ref. Trainer has come out onto the pitch for the first time tonight for either team to attend to Daniel Edwards, but it appears as though as soon as he's restored to playing health, he's going to get a yellow card. Or is he?
No.
It's Bernardo who gets booked.
Oh, maybe I saw that wrong, Teo.
Well, ruthful shake of the head from Bernardo. Edwards still favouring his upper right leg as he walks to the sideline. A shout comes from the bench, stay on. Of course, you're allowed to with the booking. Here's another look.
Tell you what, Noel Bernardo will be a little bit stiff there. Edwards gone in both feet. So I don't mind a tackle though, Teo.
Free kick for Port Melbourne then. Can they turn it into something? Bombachi was up, but his header not close to the target. We're into the last 15 minutes of regulation now. Mark Ochieng's goal back in the first half, starting to feel some time ago. Of course, 5 changes permitted in the FFA Cup, so we may yet see more subs before we're done here. The paperwork has gone in to the 4th official. Yanni says is having a busy night. It's not the electronic boards at this game either. It is the manual one, so you hear the click-clacking of turning the numbers over.
Trying to think who Johnny Quayle coming on for. Maybe Edwards is feeling that effect of that tackle.
I suspect that Port Melbourne chasing a goal may not necessarily have the patience to let Edwards find his feet here, although he looks all right as he prepares to take this throw-in. Goes high off the chest of Chris Duggan and out.
I think it could be Edwards coming off.
Must be said, Hume have had better chances to go 2-0 up now than Port Melbourne have had for an equaliser. There are the fans, as you can see from the banners, Red and White Army, Turkish Heritage Club, of course, Hume City. And the grandstand there, sitting in the John Ilhan Memorial Grandstand. Edwards looking a little proppy, but still able to play a pass for Tavia. Can he get to the ball? He does. He keeps it in. Cut back for Duggan. Equaliser for Port Melbourne. And it is their leading marksman, Chris Duggan. Until now, it hadn't quite been his night. Now it is.
Look, Tavia did not give that up. And Tennant just got caught goal side, and the youngster's done well. Got his head up, and Chrissy Duggan, we were talking about, he's getting closer and closer. And again, young Luca gifted him a goal there. We won all. The substitution just sat down as well. So Edwards played a great ball in. Luca didn't give it up, and then Duggan's in the right spot.
Well, it's a story of persistence pays, isn't it?
100%. They've been peppering away in this second half. He's done extremely well. Got his head up. Great finish.
And what about the keeper's positioning? A little naive to follow the ball out?
I think he's followed the ball out, but I think he was confident that Tennant would run that out or at least clear it, and he's just overrun it. And Lucas showed a bit of strength there to equalise.
Well,
game on.
Simplest of finishes once the ball arrived at Duggan's feet because the keeper was out of the equation. And so the sub, Luca Tavir, provides the assist. And with just under 10 minutes to go in regulation, now Port Melbourne have a new lease of life. Tavir, can he turn provider again? Edwards swinging in across. Duggan trying for 2 goals in the blink of an eye, and he's sent not 1 but 2 Hume opponents sprawling in the penalty area.
You tack the ball, had every right there as a striker. Go and attack it. Great ball in by Edwards. Tell you what, since that goal, he's been fantastic.
Well, Adam Piddock sent John Quoll, to go and put the tracksuit back on and resume his seat on the bench. So whatever sub they had in mind has been terminated by the equalising goal. Do you fancy either team to win this within the 90 now, Nick?
It's interesting. I know Port Melbourne have got one more sub up their sleeve, but Hume's still got some dangerous players up front.
Bernardo, Gardner, Quoll turning. Defenders get goal side, but here's Lazaridis! And it's swallowed up by Withers. Tough for the left footer on that acute angle, and he ended up shooting it straight at the keeper.
There's your answer. With the players they got up in that final third, anything's possible by Hume, but a lot better. A bit more patient in their build-up, created that opening, but it's definitely turning into a transition game in the moment. Both teams are trying to break each other down, so...
Mentally, how much do you think Nahuel Bernardo is thinking about that chance he had? And also Josh Bingham with the chance he had as well. They could have been 2-0. Now the game is back on an even keel.
Arguably 2 of the best strikers in the competition. I think they've missed enough in their time to understand.
Here's the ball in. Oh, Duggan pushing his man in the back. Edwards following up. And great close defending from Ochieng to block it away and protect his keeper.
Done well there. Defenders throwing their body on the line now. This goal's given Port Melbourne an extra opportunity to keep attacking at him with fresh legs. I think that's helped.
What can Hume do to repel here? Port Melbourne looking the more likely. And that's after their best energies, that first 10 minutes of this second half. Didn't bear a goal, but now they've got one to show for their efforts. The rain has stopped, so the pitch will be nice and slick. Gardner.
This is where Hume need to get on the ball. In these areas here, this is where it's letting him down.
Wilkins. Look at Wilkins. He just uses that tank to keep shuffling forward. Tavir. The ball hit him and cleared away by Lazaridis. Quoll bundled off. Well, we haven't called Gardner and Bowler's name a great deal in possession, have we? So the 2 primary central midfielders, you're right, Nick, aren't spending much time on the ball.
No, I think Adam identified that at half-time because he pushed Troy and he pushed George Mells nice and high, right up to make it hard for them to get on the ball, and that's why Hume struggled. Hume now trying to play out more from out wide, Lazaridis and Ochieng getting on the ball. So where they had success through the middle, they've lost that now.
Who's presenting for Lazaridis? It's Brandon Lawton. He's going the wrong way. Lazaridis slices a cross-field pass, sets a task of Bowler. Tavir persisting, chased him down, forced the turnover, only briefly though, and Stella unable to trap that long ball.
Referee did well there. He let the play go. Not his fault that that pass was missed.
Tennant. Bingham. Still with Archibald for company. Those two have been acquaintances all night. Ross Archibald, one of the premier defenders of NPL Victoria, whether it was playing for Bentley Greens, Avondale, or his current club, Port Melbourne.
Oh, it's dangerous here.
Ball allowed to run, Tavir. He's tackled from behind. Oh, no advantage given. Oh, the referee reached for his whistle, and so Ochieng is booked. But George Mells says, I was away, and now there is further acrimony.
No need by Port Melbourne players. Get on with it. Yes, it's a free kick. Yes, he's got him from behind.
I think it's the advantage that they wanted. And now, for protesting, Ross Archibald gets booked. And, gee, it's rough justice for Ross Archibald, but I guess when you sprint up from centre-back...
Doesn't need to. Got to keep his team concentrating on the game. Got the free kick. Oh, that was a bad tackle. He was. Yeah, the tackles that can injure players. To understand why Ross got angry there, but again, no need to come forward. He's given the free kick. You're in a good area. You've been on top. You don't want to get a player sent off.
Umut Bozdogan is about to be subbed on for Hume City. They've got to worry about defending this free kick first. And it's completely unthreatening as it sails out for a goal kick.
Probably George's worst delivery of the night. He knows it.
That's a look at the picture next to the fourth official at the moment. Lots of paperwork. Numbers coming and going. They're going to make a double sub. Lockie Weir, Michael Weir's brother, is going to come on as well. Started the season at Melbourne Knights and then transferred to Hume mid-campaign.
I wonder if Heggs is worried about Lazaridis getting sent off, already on a card.
I think he's going to replace both his fullbacks here, potentially, given that Lazaridis and Ochieng are now on cards. Lockie Weir is a left-back. Bozdogan, the utility player who has played at left-back himself. Bombachi. Port Melbourne with the impetus. Trying to win this game within the 90. Edwards. And it runs under the touch of Tavir.
Port Melbourne have done that well in the second half, getting that, playing that half space.
Lazaridis. Perhaps spending the last of his petrol tickets here before his number comes up. Qual. Bombachi forced him into the defensive half. Elabol. Centre back getting nosebleeds and decides to go to Brandon Lawton instead. Trenkovski.
It's the first time you see Gardner getting them the ball.
Well, they've worked it well from one flank to the other. And the pass over the top, well, Wilkins did well to come back and deny Qual a run at the ball. Lazaridis has stayed in the attacking half. Stella crashes into him and takes the ball away. Francesco Stella. It's a teasing ball. No, it's got no bend on it. If it had curved back, Duggan was attempting to break off the last man, but it just rolled straight into the keepers.
That last passage there by Hume, Aidan Gardner decided to go long when he didn't need to.
Bernardo shoves off Barfarosh, shoves off Archibald. That's the strength we talked about. Crosses it in onto the head of Wilkins. Gardner. He's got Port Melbourne white-shirted players all around him, and they come clean with the ball. Although Mel's pass is over the head of a slipping Duggan. I don't think Elabol's going to let this go out here. Trenkovski called for the back pass, and now Ben Bowler. Two and a half minutes of regulation to go, so Hume City are going to be making this double sub with not much game time left. Elabol slipped, recovered, and even though he's under great duress here from Francesco Stella, he's done well to keep his head, because when he initially slipped, I think he would have been worrying that he'd coughed up the ball. Here comes the double sub. Lockie Weir is on for Matt Lazaridis, and Umut Bozdogan is on for Mark Ochieng. So both fullbacks make way, and Ochieng gets a warm round of applause for his goal in the first half.
Teo, you picked that one now, so double sub, both fullbacks.
No Andy Brennan for Hume tonight, of course. Hume, when they most recently played, it was Bozdogan who was diving in on the end of a Brennan long ball that ended up being his goal in the Cup semi-final. Chance here though, and it's put behind for a corner. Bingham was waiting in the middle, and Withers goes and gives Barfarosh a pat on the chest and says thank you for the screening. 90 seconds to go.
Good impact straight away off the bench there, getting their fullbacks forward. Great little touch there by Archibald to get it out for a corner. Did well.
Is this Hume's chance to steal the win and progression at the end of the night? Into the pack of players. First head was Port Melbourne, and they're away. Tavir. Stella. Long ball to no one in particular. Bozdogan. 1 minute of regulation to go. Fourth official appears to be marking 5 additional minutes to end regulation time. Weir, can he make an instant impact on the bench? It's Lockie Weir winning a corner.
And Hume sends something here, getting the ball in the box at the moment, and Garner's delivery's been spot on.
Whether it's from the right side or the left, it's been Aidan Gardner taking these set pieces. You've been talking up the Hume City set pieces all night, Nick Tolios. Can they find a last-minute winner here? That one didn't have the juice to get over the near man. Wilkins heads it away. Bosdogan. Weir. 5 additional minutes is signalled by the 4th official. Ball comes in. Bingham was down. Oh, and he actually headed it away from goal. He appeared to head it into the back of Ross Archibald there, and it just deflected harmlessly into the arms of the keeper.
That would have been very stiff by Ross Archibald. Concede a penalty there. I think it should have been a free kick to him. Anyway, Bingham's pushed him out of the way, so I'm surprised Alex let that one go.
Well, Bingham ended up making the space, but headed it the wrong way.
He made the space by pushing Ross out of the way.
Port Melbourne's turn now. Closed down immediately. Lawton. I don't want to give up another chance here. Hume City. They're the ones that feel as though now they might be the ones to grab a stoppage time winning goal.
They've got the crowd behind them as well. They sense something too.
Well, they've seen some magical FFA Cup nights here at ABD Stadium, whether it was the 4-3 extra time win against Brisbane Strikers or the comeback win against Sydney Olympic. Hume City have got a great history in this competition at the national stage. Bernarda. And now Weir squares it. Quall, Bingham. They're lining up. Bosdogan. Bingham! Winner! Josh Bingham, the premier marksman of NPL Victoria, has sent Hume City into the next round of the FFA Cup.
What a strike by Bingham. He created half a yard of space and then pulled the trigger and bottom corner. What a fantastic goal, and you picked it. Crowd behind him, they got on top, made the substitutions at the right time. The fresh legs give him an opportunity to get forward, and what a great goal.
The crowd so appreciative of that man, Josh Bingham. It was stacks on the mill. Delight and smiling faces at Hume City late at night once again. And Port Melbourne with 3 additional minutes are just going to go for broke. John Quall does come on. Daniel Edwards does go off. So that was the substitution they were about to make before the equaliser came from Chris Duggan.
That answers your question. Good strikers never give up, no matter how many chances they miss, and that was some finish there by Josh Bingham.
Throws his weight around immediately. And at the near post, Lucas Trenkovski. I think if anyone's nervous on this pitch, it might be him. The young keeper will just want to secure the points. Ali Turgut, veteran experience. Spent quite a number of recent seasons in the second tier of Victorian football. Here's a long ball. Bernarda, he's bested Barfarosh again to put it to bed. Nahuel Bernarda! He says, that's who I am, that's what I can do. Nahuel Bernarda, and it's kicking off in the aftermath because there's all sorts of tension between Withers, Bingham, Archibald and others. Bernarda doesn't care, he just wants to celebrate.
Not sure what's happened, but Withers was arguing with the ref, but what a great finish. He had his second opportunity. Again, another good striker, misses chances, has an opportunity to make up for it, and he puts the game away.
Well, it appears as though there's now handshakes between the unhappy Port Melbourne players and their Hume counterparts, who, rather than join the goal celebration, seem fixated on arguing with each other. Bernarda outmuscled his opponent.
Didn't see anything wrong there, but again, this time he didn't make a mistake. Picked his corner on his trusty left foot. Game over.
So the man signed for one night only has delivered in style, and we're going to see Ali Turgut after all. Not that they have to worry about.
Well, is it one night only? After tonight.
Well, I think there seems to be some recriminations here for the afters of the goal. Daniel Anderson very experienced referee, has been at W League national level for a number of years now. Holding the assistant referee's flag tonight.
Not sure why Withers was getting upset there on that goal.
Well, he thought it was a foul on Barfarosh. He thought.
Right.
I mean, we watch Bernardo. We know that he's strong and he outmuscles players. And I don't think either of us thought it was a foul, even for a moment. No.
Well, look, it's no similar to the chance he had earlier on Barfarosh going to ground when he didn't need to.
So who's getting booked
Someone
here?
else is getting booked here.
Stoppage time's going to expire before we even have kickoff. Forward Bosdogan. He's now got to protest his innocence. Hayden Tennant comes over to play peacemaker.
Second yellow. Bernardo's been sent off.
Oh, that's extraordinary. He's scored, he's been sent off, and as far as 30-minute cameos go, Nahuel Bernardo has had a pretty extraordinary one. And I think the most important thing to remember is that would render him suspended for whomever Hume draw in their next cup tie.
Well, I'm not sure what's happened, whether he's made...
Well, Bernardo would be wise to walk down
away,
the tunnel before he gets additional weeks added to his suspension here.
I think someone needs to go grab him to help him off the ground. He's still on the pitch. There's more cards being... It's not coming off. I'm not sure what's happened there.
It's a night that's ending in high dudgeon. I'm none the wiser as to exactly what's going on here.
Was it the celebration maybe? Did he gesture something or...
You can see, you can read his lips. He's saying, why? And the Port Melbourne players just saying, take the L. I mean, his team's going to win, but unfortunately, that means he's suspended for the next round.
Be an interesting one. We thought his first yellow card was a little bit unfair, but...
Well, we didn't think it was his yellow. We thought it was Edwards' yellow.
Correct.
Well, he gets an ovation as he leaves the pitch regardless, and we've gone 90 seconds beyond the additional 5 minutes. It's 3-1, so this one's in the books. Port Melbourne aren't going to give up the chance of pegging back one of these two goals that they trail by. Lawton, he's been immense, and he comes through again. They're not going to score another stoppage time goal, are they? Bingham, does he take it to the corner? He's happy to slow things down here, and now he drives a crossfield ball. Oh, Gardner couldn't control it. They're going to keep going, though. Bosdogan is there, and he's able to get past Tavir. Bosdogan, and it's out for a corner. This would be 3 goals in stoppage time if they score a fourth here. Not bad for a grand climax at the end of the night. So this was the winning goal, the second goal for Bingham.
Great feat, great finish.
Look at that, he wanted to go for a slide, Josh Bingham. He loved that celebration.
He deserved it. He's worked super hard for his team. When Hegarty needed him the most, he stepped up for him.
So with the ball down in the corner, Bowler dispossessed. Tavir. Not sure how long we're going to end up playing for here. The delays for the goals and the Bernardo red card, they all seem to be adding on and then some. Mells.
Welcome back to the NPL and the FFA Cup. Can't wait.
I mean, we were saying at half-time, how good is it just to be at a live game again? It's been a fantastic night's entertainment, and no less than you'd expect.
We've had a game with goals, not going to extra time or penalties. A rarity for us.
And Hume City, they can dream perhaps about an A-League opponent back here at ABD Stadium again. There it is. Hume City, with 2 stoppage time goals, are able to best Port Melbourne and advance in a very entertaining and action-packed cup tie. The home team prevails at full time in this FFA Cup match. Hume City 3 defeat Port Melbourne Sharks 1. Bentley Greens coach Nick Tolios, your thoughts at full time?
Well, it's a lot to take in. Goals in the second half, red cards, yellow cards. We thought Alex has done well to keep him away tonight, but I don't think it was one of those games where we saw a red card coming based on the way the game was played, but fantastic. Great to see some goals, great to see the crowds back, and some good football at times, and again, credit to Hume, who got over the line, worked hard.
So you can see there, Port Melbourne may have edged possession. In the end, 5 yellow cards and the red for Hume City. But I thought it was a game played in largely good spirit, as you say. The right team won, as far as you're concerned?
Look, based on the way the teams played tonight, I think Hume did deserve the win. Again, don't get me wrong, the second half, Port Melbourne came out and they were firing, but one team had to win, and we talked about those two strikers up top, Bernarda and Bingham. When you got those two weapons up there, talked about the opportunities they had and they missed, but when it counted, they came up big and scored.
So the only goal of the first half was Mark Ochieng's. There was an equaliser with about 11 minutes to go from Chris Duggan, but 2 goals in stoppage time are the difference, and it was the 2 top strikers, Josh Bingham, and then the to-be red-carded Nahuel Bernarda made it at full time. Hume City 3, Port Melbourne Sharks 1. Thank you for your company on 10 Play tonight. This has been the FFA Cup with Bentley Greens coach Nick Tolios and myself, Teo Pellizzeri. Thank you for your company. Keep following the FFA Cup right here on 10 Play. Good night.